The silence of deep space shattered as Dr. Sarah Chen's monitoring equipment erupted in a cascade of alerts. Her fingers flew across the holographic interface, verification protocols running automatically as she stared at the impossible readings before her. The Kuiper Belt Station's sensors had picked up something massive, and it was decelerating. Station log, October 15th, 2157. She spoke clearly into the recorder. Multiple objects detected at the heliopause. Initial mass readings suggest artificial construction. These are not natural phenomena. She paused, watching as new data streamed in. Computer, calculate velocity vectors and projected trajectory. The answer came back instantly. They were headed directly for Earth. In the observation chamber of the hegemony flagship, Eternal Dominion, High Commander Zextal's scaled skin shifted through shades of deep purple as he studied the holographic representation of Sol's system. His secondary hearts beat in perfect rhythm as he contemplated the primitive civilization they'd discovered. Remarkable, he mused, all three eyes focusing on the detailed scan of Earth. They've managed to establish orbital habitats and lunar colonies without even mastering basic graviton manipulation. His upper arms gestured at the display, while his lower ones remained clasped behind his back in traditional military posture. Junior Analyst Verok approached with the latest intelligence report. High Commander, our deep scans reveal something unusual about these humans. The younger alien skin flickered with nervous patterns. They've progressed from stone tools to spaceflight in less than 10,000 years. The evolutionary acceleration is unprecedented. Irrelevant, Zextal dismissed, his tone carrying the weight of centuries of hegemony expansion. Show me their defensive capabilities. The hologram shifted, highlighting Earth's military installations, primitive projectile weapons, chemical rockets, a handful of orbital defense platforms. Nothing that could challenge hegemony technology. Yet something about the data troubled Verok. Sir, their military development shows unusual patterns. They maintain multiple parallel technology paths, continuing to develop what they call conventional weapons alongside their more advanced systems. It's inefficient, but nothing. Zextal interrupted. The Council has voted. Sol will be integrated into the hegemony. Prepare the first contact package. Back on Earth, Sarah's discovery had triggered an unprecedented response. Within hours, every major space agency had confirmed her findings. The UN Security Council convened an emergency session, while military commands worldwide went to high alert. In the White House Situation Room, President Williams studied the satellite feeds. How many? She asked the Joint Chiefs. At least 300 large vessels, General Martinez responded, with thousands of smaller craft. They're maintaining perfect formation despite traveling at speeds we can barely comprehend. This is not their first invasion. Options. The room fell silent. Earth's combined military might was formidable against terrestrial threats, but this was beyond their worst-case scenarios. The decision was made for them. Every screen on Earth flickered simultaneously as the hegemony broadcast their message. High Commander Zextal's alien visage appeared, his words translated into all Earth languages at once. People of Sol, your civilization has been deemed worthy of integration into the hegemony. Resistance is unnecessary and would only result in needless suffering. You have 24 hours to surrender your military assets and governmental authority. Those who comply will be treated fairly under hegemony law. In orbit, Sarah Chen watched as alien scout ships approached her station. Her hands moved swiftly through the emergency protocols, initiating the station's self-destruct sequence. They wouldn't get Earth's advanced research data. Final log entry. She spoke as she headed for the escape pod. They think they're dealing with primitives. They don't understand that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to adapt, to unite against common threats. Earth has never faced an alien invasion, but we've spent our entire history preparing for war. On the hegemony flagship, Zextal received the first tactical reports with growing irritation. The humans were destroying their own outposts rather than allowing capture. Their communications had shifted to encrypted channels that showed surprising sophistication. Military units worldwide were mobilizing with unexpected coordination. High Commander Verok reported, skin paling with concern, "We're detecting massive energy signatures from Earth. They're activating weapon systems we hadn't detected in our initial scans." "Impossible," Zextal growled. "Their technology level couldn't have hidden." "Sir," Verok interrupted, breaking protocol in his urgency, "these aren't new systems. They're old ones, weapons they've kept maintained and hidden, spanning centuries of development. The humans, they never abandoned any of their military technology. They kept everything." As Sarah's escape pod accelerated toward Earth, she watched the alien ships approaching her dying station. They were beautiful, advanced, and utterly alien, but they had made a fatal mistake. They had given humanity time. Time to unite, time to plan, and time to remember every lesson learned from millennia of warfare. The invasion of Sol had begun, but Earth would not go quietly into the night. The human spirit, forged through countless conflicts and hardships, was about to show the galaxy exactly what primitive really meant. Fifth's research chamber aboard the Hegemony flagship hummed with the soft glow of holographic displays. Centuries of intercepted human broadcasts surrounded him, a chaotic tapestry of information that painted a disturbing picture. His elongated fingers trembled as he compiled the final analysis. "Computer, display comparative species timeline. Focus on technological advancement patterns," he commanded. The air shimmered as parallel tracks of data materialized. Most species showed predictable patterns: gradual advancement, careful testing, methodical progress. The human timeline was different. It pulsed with rapid spikes of innovation, each coinciding with periods of conflict. "Cross-reference military technology development with major conflicts," Kivith ordered. The display shifted, revealing a pattern that made his primary heart skip. "They've had more wars in the past century than most species have in their entire recorded history." The door hissed open. Security Director Nalvor entered, his ceremonial armor gleaming under the holographic light. "The Council is concerned about your recent inquiries, Researcher Kivith." Kivith's peripheral membranes twitched with anxiety, but he continued his analysis. "Director, these humans, they're unprecedented. Look at their entertainment media." He gestured at a stream of human military simulations, war games, and strategic puzzles. "Their children play at warfare. Their sports mimic combat. Every aspect of their culture prepares them for conflict." "Primitive barbarism," Nalvor dismissed, but Kivith noticed the subtle color shift in his scales that indicated uncertainty. "No, you don't understand." Kivith pulled up classified files from previous Hegemony integrations. "Look at the Zenari, the Telesians, peaceful species that develop technology in a linear fashion. We overwhelmed them easily, but humans." He highlighted a series of human weapons tests. They maintain multiple parallel development paths. When one technology fails, they have backups ready. They never abandon working systems, no matter how primitive. Nalvor's hand moved to his sidearm. "Those files are sealed, Researcher. Your access has been revoked." Kivith ignored the threat, his scientific passion overriding his fear. "Their computer systems are a chaos of different architectures. Their weapons range from simple chemical explosives to antimatter warheads. It's not inefficiency, it's tactical flexibility. And their rate of adaptation." He displayed the timeline of human flight technology. From first flight to space travel in less than 70 years. No other species has evolved so fast. "The Council has made its decision," Nalvor stated flatly. "Integration will proceed, like it proceeded with the Graxians." Kivith's voice dropped to a whisper. "Another species that accepted integration. Their resistance was erased from our records, but I found the truth. The Hegemony doesn't integrate, it conquers. But humans." He gestured at the display showing Earth's military history. Humans have been preparing for this their entire existence. They don't just fight wars. They study them, memorialize them, learn from them. The energy blast caught Kivith in mid-sentence, sending him crumpling to the floor. As his consciousness faded, he saw Nalvor accessing his terminal, systematically erasing his research. Take him to detention. Nalvor ordered the guards who materialized from the corridor. The integration proceeds as planned. In the void of space, humanity's early warning network was going dark. Hegemony stealth ships moved with surgical precision, eliminating outposts one by one. They failed to notice that many stations went silent minutes before they arrived, their crews evacuating with vital data and technology. On Earth, military commands worldwide were mobilizing. In hardened bunkers beneath Moscow, Beijing, Washington, and a dozen other capitals, leaders received the same reports. The pattern was clear. Earth was being systematically isolated. In his detention cell, Kivith managed to access an emergency terminal through a maintenance panel. With trembling fingers, he composed a message, encrypting it in a format he'd discovered in human broadcasts. As the hegemony fleet approached Earth, his warning raced ahead of them. They come not to integrate, but to conquer. Your history of war is your strength, not your weakness. Unite. Resist. Survive. For the sake of all species who couldn't. The message disappeared into the chaos of Earth's communications networks, one signal among millions. But in a monitoring station in the Kuiper Belt, Dr. Sarah Chen's systems caught it. She recognized the encryption pattern. It matched those used in human Cold War communications. As she decoded the message, her eyes widened. The aliens' warning confirmed what humanity had always suspected. We were not alone in the universe, and the universe was not friendly. But humanity had spent its entire history preparing for this moment. The invasion was about to begin, and Earth's greatest test lay ahead. But for the first time in galactic history, an invading force would face a species that had never known true peace, and was stronger for it. The United Nations General Assembly Hall buzzed with an energy unlike anything in its history. Ancient enemies sat side by side. Former adversaries shared military secrets, and centuries-old rivalries dissolved in the face of extinction. The world's military leaders had gathered for an unprecedented joint session. General Li Chen of the Chinese People's Liberation Army stood at the podium beside U.S. Admiral Sarah Martinez, their uniforms a stark contrast, but their purpose unified. The holographic display behind them showed Earth's combined military assets, reorganized into a single defensive network. For centuries, we've trained to fight each other. Martinez addressed the assembly, her voice carrying the weight of history. Every nation in this room knows the other's capabilities, strategies, and weaknesses. We've spent generations preparing to wage war against each other. Now, that preparation will save us all. The Iranian delegation rose, their military attaché stepping forward. The Islamic Republic offers our cyber warfare division. For decades, we've defended against the world's most sophisticated digital attacks. Together with American AI systems and Chinese quantum computers, we'll show these aliens what Earth's combined technological might can achieve. A cascade of offers followed. India and Pakistan proposed joint command of their nuclear deterrent, centuries of rivalry giving way to cooperation. Israel shared its Iron Dome technology with former adversaries. North Korea revealed hidden electromagnetic pulse weapons that could disable alien electronics. The first test of this unprecedented alliance came sooner than expected. A hegemony scout force, believing they'd found an easy target, attacked the International Space Station. They expected minimal resistance from what they perceived as a scientific outpost. They were wrong. Indian anti-satellite missiles launched from submarines hidden in the Indian Ocean. Japanese space-based lasers, disguised as debris, came online with devastating precision. Brazilian cyber warfare teams, working from hardened bunkers, scrambled alien targeting systems. The coordinated defense was unlike anything the hegemony had encountered, each nation contributing its specialty in a symphonic display of resistance. From his stealth observation post in orbit, Canadian Space Force Colonel Jen Dubois watched the battle unfold. "Earth Command, you need to see this," he transmitted. "They expected us to be divided, to fight as individual nations. They don't understand. Earth's militaries have spent centuries preparing for threats exactly like them. We know every possible strategy because we've used them all against each other." The scout force retreated in disarray, leaving behind damaged ships that would become humanity's first captured alien technology. But more importantly, they left with a message. Earth would not be easy prey. In military bases worldwide, centuries of war games proved their worth. American stealth technology paired seamlessly with Russian electronic warfare systems. British special forces trained Chinese troops in urban combat against mechanized forces. Israeli drone swarms integrated with Indian space defense networks. Every nation contributed its unique military expertise to the whole. At the UN, the Security Council convened in permanent session. The Brazilian ambassador smiled grimly at her Chinese counterpart. "They thought our divisions made us weak. They don't understand. Our diversity is our strength. Every conflict, every arms race, every Cold War has prepared us for this moment. Every nation has its specialty." The Russian delegate agreed, his scared face testament to decades of military service. Every military its expertise. Together, we are not just stronger, we are unbeatable. The hegemony's main fleet approached, expecting a fractured response from a divided planet. Instead, they faced something unprecedented in galactic history. A species that had spent its entire existence preparing for this moment, through endless war games, simulations, and actual conflicts. Earth's nations had trained against each other for centuries, developing countermeasures for every conceivable strategy. Now that training would ensure their survival. The real war was about to begin, and humanity was ready. As the first waves of the alien fleet appeared on long-range sensors, Earth's unified command structure activated. In bunkers, bases, and spacecraft across the globe, soldiers who had once trained to fight each other stood ready to fight together. The message went out on all frequencies in all languages. "This is Earth Command to all forces. Execute Operation Unity. Show them why humanity has survived everything the universe has thrown at us. Show them why Earth stands alone." The greatest battle in human history was about to begin. And for the first time ever, humanity faced it with one voice, one purpose, and one unshakable resolve. Survival against all odds. The first wave of the hegemony assault emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, their energy weapons charging as they approached Earth's orbital defense network. High Commander Zextal watched from his flagship's command center, expecting a swift victory against the primitive human defenses. "Begin the primary attack sequence," he ordered, his scaled skin glowing with anticipation. "Target their major military installations first." The hegemony ships unleashed a devastating barrage of plasma weapons and graviton beams. The energy weapons tore through Earth's conventional satellites and defense platforms like paper. Zextal's secondary hearts beat faster in satisfaction, until the humans revealed their true defense. "Operation Throwback is a go," General Martinez announced from deep within NORAD. Across Earth's orbit, what had appeared to be space debris suddenly activated. Thousands of railgun platforms, built with obsolete technology, opened fire simultaneously. The hegemony's energy shields, designed to deflect advanced weapons, proved surprisingly vulnerable to simple kinetic projectiles. Tungsten rods, accelerated to near-relativistic speeds, punched through alien hulls with devastating efficiency. "Impossible!" Zextal roared as the first ships began falling. "Their primitive weapons shouldn't be able to." "Sir," Varrock interrupted, his skin pale with fear, "they're using technology we dismissed as obsolete. Our shields are optimized against energy weapons, not physical impacts." On the lunar surface, the Armstrong Base Mining Corporation revealed its true purpose. What appeared to be simple mining equipment transformed into massive coil guns, their electromagnetically accelerated projectiles turning hegemony ships into expanding clouds of debris. Dr. Sarah Chen, now coordinating from Lunar Command, watched the battle unfold. They thought we'd abandon primitive weapons when we developed newer technology, she transmitted to Earth Command. They don't understand. Humans never throw away anything that works. The battle intensified as the hegemony adapted, adjusting their shields to counter the kinetic weapons. But humanity had another surprise waiting. Hidden satellites activated, releasing clouds of smart dust. Billions of microscopic robots that invaded alien ships through hull breaches, disrupting systems from within. Third wave. Launch now. Martinez ordered. Indian and Chinese quantum-encrypted communications coordinated the attack as Russian spaceplanes emerged from hidden hangars, engaging alien fighters with a combination of advanced energy weapons and old-fashioned autocannons. In his detention cell, Kuvith watched through a small viewport as human forces systematically dismantled the hegemony's supposedly superior technology. "I tried to warn them," he muttered. "Humans don't think like other species. They don't replace, they combine." The battle for lunar orbit proved decisive. When hegemony forces approached Armstrong Base, they faced an integrated defense network combining centuries of human military innovation. Nuclear-powered lasers worked alongside conventional explosives. Quantum-guided missiles partnered with simple flak barriers. "Sir," Verok reported to an increasingly agitated Zextal, "we've lost 30% of our first wave. The humans, they're using combat techniques we've never encountered. Their strategies seem chaotic, unpredictable." "Because they are." Kivith's voice came over a hijacked channel. "Every human nation developed its own way of warfare. Now they're using them all at once." The hegemony fleet regrouped, but the damage was done. Humanity had proven that superior technology alone wasn't enough. Earth's primitive weapons, combined with innovative tactics and unconventional thinking, had bloodied the invaders' nose. In the aftermath of the first major engagement, Earth's unified command assessed their victory. The humans had lost many satellites and defense platforms, but they had destroyed or disabled a significant portion of the hegemony's first wave. "They'll be back," Martins warned the assembled leaders. But now they know. Earth isn't just another primitive world to be conquered. We're the species that never stopped preparing for war, that never abandoned a working weapon, that never forgot how to fight. As debris from the battle burned up in Earth's atmosphere, creating artificial meteor showers, humanity prepared for the next round. The hegemony would return with new tactics, new weapons, new defenses, but they would find that humans had been practicing for this fight for their entire history. The first battle for Earth was over. The war for survival was just beginning. The Gobi Desert facility hummed with activity as Earth's brightest minds swarmed over the downed hegemony vessel. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the alien ship's neural interface, her eyes reflecting the strange patterns of light emanating from its control surfaces. "Their technology is at least 3 centuries ahead of ours," she muttered, making notes on her tablet. "But their systems are predictable, too perfect." She turned to her team, a mix of international experts gathered from every major tech company and research institution on Earth. "They expect it'll take us years to reverse engineer their systems," a young Indian programmer said, his fingers dancing over a holographic keyboard. "They don't understand how human computer systems evolved. Through constant warfare," Chen finished, "against viruses, against hackers, against each other. Our networks are chaos because they had to be." She pointed to the alien ship's main computer core. "Their systems are perfect, elegant, and completely vulnerable to human unpredictability." In orbit, the second wave of the hegemony fleet was discovering this truth firsthand. Their formation-based combat algorithms, refined over millennia, were being torn apart by human tactics that seemed to defy logic. "High Commander," Verok reported, his scales pale with stress, "the humans are using combat strategies pulled from their entertainment simulations. Our predictive AI can't anticipate their moves because they're using tactics from what they call video games. Zextol watched in horror as another squadron of his ships fell to seemingly chaotic human attacks. Impossible. Their primitive minds couldn't possibly. Sir, Varrock interrupted, they're not just using their military experience. They're drawing from centuries of simulated warfare. Every human with a gaming device has been unwittingly training for this moment. Back in the Gobi, Chen's team had made a breakthrough. Their AI is based on perfect logic, she explained to the assembled military leaders. But human gaming engines are designed to handle chaos, to adapt to unpredictable players. We can use our primitive systems to outthink their perfect ones. The evidence was in the data. Hegemony ships, running on crystalline quantum computers, were being outmaneuvered by human vessels guided by modified gaming algorithms. Earth's decentralized, messy computer networks proved remarkably adept at infiltrating alien systems. They built their technology like they built their empire. Kivith's voice came through on a hijacked channel. He had escaped detention during the chaos and was now helping humanity. Everything connected, everything perfect, everything vulnerable to the right kind of chaos. The breakthrough came when Chen's team integrated a popular strategy game's AI with captured alien tech. The hybrid system could predict and counter hegemony tactics while generating the kind of unpredictable strategies that only humans could devise. Launch the virus, Chen ordered. Years of defending against cyber attacks had taught humanity how to craft the perfect digital weapon. The virus, built on principles of human chaos theory, spread through the hegemony's perfectly organized network like wildfire. In space, alien ships began behaving erratically as their systems were compromised. The virus didn't try to control them. It introduced just enough chaos to make their perfect systems fail. They thought our technology was primitive because it wasn't unified. Chen transmitted to Earth Command. They never understood that our strength lies in our diversity, our adaptability, our controlled chaos. The hegemony fleet retreated in disarray, their perfect formations shattered by human unpredictability. But they would return, and humanity needed to be ready. Phase 2 begins now, Chen announced to her team. We're not just going to understand their technology. We're going to make it better, more human, more adaptable. As alien debris was collected for study, Earth's unified defense network grew stronger. Human innovation, forged in the crucible of constant digital warfare, was proving more than a match for alien perfection. The battle for technological supremacy had been won, but the war was far from over, and humanity's greatest challenges still lay ahead. The first signs of the hegemony's biological attack came as a whisper. Monitoring stations in low Earth orbit detected unusual particle patterns in the upper atmosphere. Within hours, emergency alerts flashed across the global defense network. Multiple biological agents detected, Dr. Elena Rodriguez reported from the WHO's Enhanced Biosecurity Chamber in Geneva. They're using engineered pathogens unlike anything we've seen before. Her hands moved swiftly across holographic displays, showing genetic sequences that twisted in impossible ways. High Commander Zextol watched with satisfaction as the biological weapons deployed. Let's see how these primitives handle warfare on the microscopic level. Their immune systems will. Sir, Varrock interrupted, his scales shifting to a worried purple. The humans are responding differently than expected. On Earth, decades of pandemic preparation sprang into action. Cities activated their biodefense shields, technology developed during humanity's last Great Plague. Civilian populations donned next-generation protective gear, the product of centuries fighting invisible enemies. They thought we'd be helpless against engineered diseases, Rodriguez transmitted to Global Command. They don't understand. Earth's entire biosphere is a warfare laboratory. We've been fighting evolution itself since the dawn of medicine. In underground laboratories worldwide, AI systems analyze the alien pathogens. What the hegemony saw as perfect biological weapons, Earth's scientists saw as predictable engineered constructs that lacked the raw adaptability of Earth's own microorganisms. Their bioweapons are like their computers, Dr. Chen observed, working alongside Rodriguez. Too perfect, too rigid. They don't understand the chaos of natural evolution. She pointed to a simulation showing how Earth's native bacteria were already developing countermeasures to the alien threats. Kivith, now working openly with human scientists, provided crucial insights. The hegemony engineers everything to perfection. They'd forgotten how to work with natural systems, how to adapt to chaos. The counterattack came from an unexpected direction. Instead of trying to defeat the alien pathogens directly, Earth's scientists released modified versions of Earth's own microscopic life. Billions of years of evolution had created organisms far more resilient and adaptable than anything the hegemony could engineer. They wanted to use biology as a weapon, Rodriguez announced to the Emergency Council. Let's show them what Earth's biosphere can really do. The modified Earth organisms didn't just fight the alien pathogens. They evolved alongside them, adapting faster than the engineered weapons could respond. The hegemony's perfect biological weapons found themselves overwhelmed by the chaotic, ever-changing defenders of Earth's ecosystem. But humanity didn't stop there. Using technology recovered from downed alien ships, they discovered how to turn the biological attack back on its creators. Earth's organisms, modified with alien biotechnology, were launched into the hegemony fleet via captured delivery systems. Impossible. Zextol raged as reports of contamination spread through his ships. Their primitive life forms couldn't possibly. Sir, Verok's voice shook, their organisms are adapting to our countermeasures faster than we can deploy them. They're using our own delivery systems to spread through the fleet. In the WHO facility, Rodriguez watched as the tide turned. Earth has been preparing for this kind of war for billions of years, she transmitted to the Allied command. Every virus, every bacteria, every plague we've ever fought has taught us how to survive. The hegemony fleet retreated again, their biological weapons neutralized and their own ships now contaminated with Earth-born organisms that their perfect systems couldn't predict or control. They never understood, Kivith observed, watching through a laboratory viewport as alien ships flood from Earth's orbital defense perimeter. Perfect engineering will always be vulnerable to natural adaptation. Earth's strength isn't in perfection. It's in endless, beautiful, terrible change. As the biological threat receded, humanity emerged stronger. New medical technologies, born from the fusion of alien biotechnology and Earth's evolutionary adaptability, promised to revolutionize human medicine. But there was no time to celebrate. The hegemony would return, and their next attack would be born of desperation. Earth had survived the invisible war, but the greatest challenge still lay ahead. The hegemony's main fleet gathered at the edge of the solar system, preparing for what they believed would be their final assault. High Commander Zextol, his scaled skin now permanently darkened with stress, reviewed the battle plans one last time. We will not be defeated by primitives, he declared to his assembled commanders. This time, we commit everything. No holding back, no retreat. We, sir, Verok burst into the command chamber, protocol forgotten in his urgency. The humans, they're moving the asteroids. In the belt between Mars and Jupiter, humanity had unleashed its most ambitious defense yet. Mining ships, their engines modified with captured alien technology, were literally reshaping the solar system. They're not just moving them. Dr. Chen reported from the command center of the repurposed mining vessel Olympus. We're weaponizing an entire asteroid belt. Around her, screens showed hundreds of mining ships attaching gravitic drives to carefully selected space rocks. The hegemony fleet advanced, their formation perfect as always. They expected to face conventional weapons, perhaps enhanced with stolen technology. Instead, they met an asteroid field that moved with purpose. Guided rocks. Martines laughed from her command post on Luna. Sometimes the oldest weapons are the best. She watched as the first wave of weaponized asteroids, accelerated by alien gravitic drives and guided by human intuition, tore through the hegemony's elegant formations. But that was just the beginning. Years of mining experience had taught humanity how to work with space itself. Solar mirrors, originally designed to provide power to mining operations, were repurposed into weapons that could focus the sun's fury on enemy ships. They thought technology alone determined superiority. Kuvith transmitted from his advisory position in Earth Command. They'd never understood that humans don't fight like a unified species. They fight like billions of individuals working in concert. Each defeat brought new tactics. Each loss sparked innovation rather than submission. Mining drones, reprogrammed with combat algorithms derived from video games, swarmed through the hegemony fleet. Maintenance bots, their repair protocols reversed, disassembled alien ships piece by piece. "Sir," Verrock reported, his voice hollow with disbelief, "they're using our own gravitic technology to create weaponized singularities." He watched as human ships deployed miniature black holes, precisely calculated to tear apart hegemony vessels without endangering Earth. "How?" Zextal demanded. "How can they master such technology so quickly?" "Because they never stopped learning." Kuvith's voice came over the command channel. "Every human is taught to question, to experiment, to adapt. Your perfect empire cannot comprehend their beautiful chaos." The battle reached its climax as humanity unveiled its masterpiece. The asteroid Ceres, hollowed out and equipped with the combined propulsion technology of a dozen alien civilizations, emerged from hiding behind Mars. "All units, Operation Hammer is go," Chen announced. The dwarf planet-turned weapon accelerated toward the hegemony fleet, guided by the combined expertise of every space mining corporation on Earth. The hegemony's rigid command structure crumbled against opponents who rewrote their strategies mid-battle. Ships began breaking formation, captains acting independently in desperate attempts to survive. "They're retreating," Martins reported, watching the enemy fleet scatter. "Not just tactically, they're abandoning the invasion entirely." In his command chamber, Zextal faced the truth he had denied for too long. "We cannot defeat them," he realized. "Not because they are stronger, but because they are unpredictable, ungovernable, free." As the hegemony fleet fled the solar system, humanity began collecting their advanced technology, not to copy it, but to improve it. Earth's transformed orbital infrastructure became the foundation for a new defensive network. They never understood. Chen transmitted to the celebrating forces. Earth doesn't just survive, it evolves. And now we have the entire solar system as our fortress. The war wasn't over. Humanity knew better than to assume final victory. But they had proven something extraordinary. In a galaxy of perfect empires, Earth's chaotic, innovative spirit was perhaps the greatest weapon of all. 1 year after the hegemony's retreat, Earth's solar system had transformed. The asteroid belt bristled with defensive platforms that merged human ingenuity with alien technology. Mars hosted sprawling manufacturing complexes building humanity's first true space fleet. And in high orbit above Earth, the culmination of humanity's greatest engineering project neared completion. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the observation dome of the new Solar Defense Command, watching construction drones swarm around humanity's first faster-than-light ship. The Defiance was unlike anything the galaxy had seen, a hybrid of dozens of technologies, each improved by human innovation. "Ready for the final inspection?" Kuvith asked, his scaled form now adorned with the insignia of Earth's Xenotechnology Advisory Council. The former hegemony researcher had become humanity's guide to the stars, helping them avoid the technological stagnation that had made his own civilization vulnerable. "Almost," Chen replied, checking the latest diagnostics. "The quantum core is stable, the gravitic drives are synchronized, and the hybrid computer systems are online. We've done what they thought impossible. We've improved their perfect technology." Around the solar system, humanity's defensive network stood vigilant. Observation posts, extending far beyond Pluto's orbit, monitored for any sign of returning threats. But they weren't just watching. They were learning, adapting, improving. In the UN General Assembly, now expanded into the Solar Council, Admiral Martinez addressed the gathered leaders. "The hegemony's invasion taught us something vital," she declared. "We are not alone in the galaxy, but we are unique. Our history of conflict, our drive to innovate, our refusal to accept limitations, these are our greatest strengths." The assembly chamber displayed a holographic map of known space, pieced together from captured hegemony data. Dozens of civilizations, each one carefully engineered into stagnant perfection by the hegemony's integration process, waited to be freed. "We won't become conquerors," President Williams assured the Council, "but we will become liberators. The galaxy needs Earth's chaos, our innovation, our spirit of endless possibility." Kvith stepped forward, his presence a testament to the change humanity had brought to the galaxy. "The hegemony built an empire of perfect order," he said, "but they forgot that the universe itself is chaos, ever-changing, ever-evolving. Humanity remembers this truth in its bones." The Defiance represented this philosophy in physical form. Its hull combined materials from a dozen worlds. Its computers merged alien quantum processing with human neural networks. Its weapons ranged from gravitic cannons to simple kinetic slugs, each deadly in its own way. "Final systems check complete," Chen announced as the ship's crew boarded. "The Defiance is ready for its first flight." She took her place on the bridge, surrounded by a crew chosen from every nation on Earth. The ship's hybrid AI came online, its voice a harmony of human imagination and alien precision. All systems nominal. FTL drive spooling up. "Where shall we go first, Captain?" Chen looked at the star map, at the countless civilizations waiting to rediscover their own capacity for growth and change. "Everywhere,"